Hello and welcome to Obviously a Tournament episode 6. In this episode we have the last two heats for the entire competition. Going forward after this will be the knockouts. In Heat G we have Inside Job, Pushy Penguin, Sad Fox and Lois. First up we have Pushy Penguin versus Sad Fox. Both Midnight Crow and Fhilp looking to get a good start in this heat.
1.
Here we go. Big hit there by Sad Fox, taking a lot of parts off of. Oh my god, the entire face has been ripped off already. Impressive power from Sad Fox so far. Just constantly on Pushy Penguin at the moment. Well, and that's a fire as well, and Pushy Penguin is upside down. The weapon can still spin, but I think that's game over right there. I believe Sad Fox is also on fire at the moment. It is, but we count down Pushy Penguin now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's a win for Sad Fox. Going through and winning that fight and going 1-0. Next up we have Inside Job on Lois. Who will join Sad Fox on 1-0?
3, 2, 1, go.
Bit slow to start off, but Lois is coming in on the attack. Inside Job doing its job and just grabbing on, trying to avoid the spinner of Lois here. Doing very well to control the fight at the moment. Keeping it near the walls, trying to slow down that spinner as we go. Trying to maintain the control and aggression that they have in this fight so far, pushing Lois against all of the walls that they can possibly find at the moment. Up against the wall again, kind of just spinning it around a little at the moment. Inside Job backs up, and I think Lois might have burnt out the drive. That gives the win to Inside Job. Well done. Very well controlled fight there. Next up we have Inside Job versus Pushy Penguin. If Inside Job wins, they're pretty much guaranteed to go through. If Pushy Penguin wins, we're going to have an interesting end to this
3,
heat.
2, 1, go.
Pushy Penguin comes in very fast, but just gets stuck by that grabber of Inside Job. Inside Job really doing well in its fights to control some robots with some powerful spinners, but they're not really able to do much. Inside Job is just so big and such a good control bot that there's not really much they can do. Very interesting. Just kind of pinning it against the wall, letting the hammer come down. Really on top of Inside Job. Finally gets some distance, and Pushy Penguin gets underneath and behind with a big push into the corner, trying to possibly throw Inside Job out of the arena. A few more grabs and not really doing all too much, but Inside Job just trying to control the entire fight, but Pushy Penguin finally getting underneath. Kind of just hanging around the screws at the moment. Nice grab again, pushing Pushy Penguin up against the walls. And turns itself over because of the momentum, but Pushy Penguin coming underneath again, doing very well to get underneath that low wedge of Inside Job here. it's been quite a close fight so far. It started off being quite towards the inside job, but now it's gone back towards Pushy Penguin at the moment. Just grinding the bottom underneath, doing very well to avoid getting stuck in the grip of inside job for the second half of this fight. Another big hit underneath, and a push and a pin by Pushy Penguin this time. But again, getting trapped inside the grabber of inside job, pinning it against the wall. We're going to a judge's decision, no matter what now. And here we go to the judges. What will the judges say? The judges give it to Pushy Penguin on a very close decision. It is indeed a unanimous decision, but every score was 5 or 4. Next up we have Sad Fox versus Lois. Here we go. Sad Fox wins. They go through pretty much. Lois wins. It's 1-1 for all the robots. Big hits underneath from Sad Fox, kind of pushing the entire weapon around, the entire robot around. With it, Sad Fox has a surprisingly hard-hitting weapon for the size of the entire robot. It's probably the smallest robot we have in obviously a tournament. Getting some big hits on the underside of Lois, kind of just throwing it around at the moment. Pinning it up against the wall. Doing really well to keep Lois's big spinner away. Got an in-game count here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I would say Lois just got away there. It did say 0, but I'd say it just got away. A lot of big hits though. Upside down. Now on top of the screws. I don't think that count out would have mattered if it's just going to keep going the way that it is. More big hits. There goes an entire wheel. Both robots stuck together a little bit. There goes an ESC. This is just decimation here from Sad Fox. Not letting Lois do anything. Anything at all. Lois is kind of still moving, but not much. Sad Fox getting free, and another big hit on the side, and again Sad Fox really not leaving it to chance, really wanting to pick apart Lois here. Another big hit, and again. Lois is just absolutely destroyed. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm counting much slower than the in-game timer. There's a timer going anyway. That's a win for Sad Fox. Well done. Going through pretty much guaranteed now. Next up we have Lois versus Pushy Penguin. Pushy Penguin could complicate things here. If Pushy Penguin wins and Inside Job wins, we have 3 robots and 2 and 1. Then we'd have to have a rumble to figure out the 2 robots going through, and that'll be interesting. But seems like some hard hits coming in from both sides. Is Pushy Penguin stuck though? Pushy Penguin is stuck on the spikes. Can they get free? Lois is definitely still moving. 3, 2, 1, and that's it. Lois has got a win. Well done. Going 1 and 2, doing very well in the process. These 2 are all, well, no, not already through. Inside Job needs to win. Otherwise we have a three-way tie for second and we need to have a rumble still.
3, 2, 1,
which is
go.
very interesting. But here we go. Inside job grabbing onto Sad Fox. Sad Fox is small enough that the grabber has to be all the way down to be able to even grab onto it. Sad Fox causing a lot of damage to the grabber though. The grabber is having chunks taken out of it at the moment. Now it's got more like teeth than a cup. But not letting go at the moment. Doing very well to control the fight. Not much in terms of what each other can do at the moment. Just kind of, I can't tell who's pushing and who or pulling, or it's looking like Sad Fox is pushing occasionally and Inside Job is pushing very rarely, but it's hard to tell from the kind of fight they're having. Oh, they are now free. And Sad Fox comes in with a massive hit on the side, turns Inside Job over. Managing to get a few good hits, and I don't know when Sad Fox turned over, I may have missed that. Another big hit, trying to possibly detach the entire grabbing mechanism. But Inside Job is stuck, can't really move, but able to move enough to break the timer. And again, grabbing Sad Fox. Sad Fox's spinner is still going. If they take enough chunks out, then Inside Job might not be able to even hold them, which will be interesting. You can kind of see Sad Fox just almost able to get out. Just being held in position. You can see there is a gap big enough, but can they get the angle to get out? And if they do get the angle to get out, what can they do once they are out? It's a very interesting robot to fight Inside Job. It just grabs you and is very interesting with what it does. Bit of a skateboard move there from Sad Fox. I believe Sad Fox's weapon has actually burnt out. Yeah, you can see the smoke coming out of it as it drives Inside Job into the screws. We go into the last 20 seconds, but we have now Sad Fox pushing Inside Job around the arena. Not what I would have expected at all, but Sad Fox does have a very powerful drivetrain. As we go into the last 5 seconds, this fight will go to the judges, and anything can happen there. And the judges give it to Inside Job. Inside Job. This means Inside Job will be going through with Sad Fox to the next round. Inside Job actually winning that match via split decision, interestingly. In Heat H, we have the last 4 remaining robots. We have Butterknife, Bloodstar, Trailblazer, and Nightterror. First up, we have Butterknife and Bloodstar. Brick looking to go through as the favourite for this heat. Aiden looking to get a win in a quite difficult heat for his robot. But it has gotten underneath the forks at the front of Butterknife, which is interesting. But Butterknife is not giving any chance, is not leaving anything to chance. Just throwing Bloodstar around the arena, hitting it with a hammer saw, trying to get any of those innards that are quite close to the outside of the chassis. Just not giving it any room to breathe at all. But now I believe it's Bloodstar pinning Butterknife up against the arena wall. Does have to free it, and does. Big hit, but flips itself really. More hits on the top plate. And there's a battery. I did say they were vulnerable, close to the panels. That's a drive battery, I believe. The weapon's still spinning. but there's no one at home, it seems. As we count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Butterknife wins that fight. Next up, we have Trailblazer and Nightterror. Two interesting bots. Nightterror, a nightmare looking robot. Trailblazer is just a 6-wheel drive big push with a flamethrower. I wouldn't
3,
expect anything less
2,
from Mad, but here we
1,
go.
go.
Big hit. That's a very surprising interaction. Nightterror just gets thrown backwards rather than anything happening to Trailblazer. Trailblazer's kind of come out swinging here, trying to take the fight to Nightterror. Nightterror not able to do much to Trailblazer at the moment, as it is upside down. It's got to self-right, but Trailblazer's not giving it any chance to. It does self-right now, but again, that wedge on the front is just flicking Nightterror up in the air. Now pinning it in the corner and coming out. Those flamethrowers have not stopped at all. It's just a blaze of glory at the moment. Very fun to watch. Just pushing Nightterror across the arena. Nightterror, as I said, is an interesting design. It is a nightmare-like robot, but it seems to be very front-heavy, which you would expect. Trailblazer trying to burn through. Whoa, robot's coming right at the camera. But more big pushes there by Trailblazer, just trying to minimize the amount of movement that can happen for Nightterror. I'm probably going to start counting out Nightterror very soon. It's not moved under its own power. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Trailblazer wins that fight. Well done. Very interesting. Next up we have Nightterror versus Bloodstar. This is the only fight that I didn't realize was in the trailer. This exact fight isn't in the trailer, but this matchup happened in the trailer, and I didn't realize it was actually a fight that was going to happen. I was just like, these two robots are very
3,
similar, so we'll put
2,
them in the trailer.
1, go.
So we know what can happen between these two robots. Big hit by Nightterror. That's more what we were expecting. And again another big hit, but there goes the weapon, just like in the trailer. Now what's going to happen? Bloodstar really has to take advantage here. They have a huge opening for this win, and Nightterror's got to do something. Probably use the shape of the front wheels as like a claw or a pusher. It's actually doing quite well. He's got Bloodstar upside down. Bloodstar's kind of grabbed it with the self-righting mechanism. Both robots kind of stuck together. They will free each other in a second. There we go, they freed each other. Another big hit. That spin is still going on Bloodstar. Not letting anything like really stop it. But Nightterror is doing very well to avoid it. That was a big hit, but it kind of threw Bloodstar away rather than did any damage to Nightterror. Nightterror is really staying on top of it to be able to control this fight so far. Again, pinning count out. Bloodstar able to self-right very neatly. Kind of just stuck together at the moment. A big hit and flipping constantly and again. Oh, and there's a big hit. Nightterror was upside down for a second. If Bloodstar had left it, they would have won that fight. But again, Nightterror just pinning Bloodstar there, not really letting them do anything at the moment. Bloodstar comes out of the corner. Seems to be a little sluggish then at the start of the fight. We're probably running out of that battery power. The spin is still going, but there's no real drive, I think. We're going into the last 30 seconds. Bloodstar is notorious for running out of battery in this kind of scenario, and I believe it just has. You can see Nightterror's push beginning to pick up pace. I believe that is because the drive has gone and run out of battery, but we're not going to have time to count out Bloodstar. It's going to go to the judges, and this is going to be an incredibly close fight. The judges give it to Nightterror on the aggression and control it showed in that fight. Very well done to Nightterror. Next up we have Trailblazer versus Butterknife. Winner of this pretty much goes through no matter what at this point.
3, 2, 1, go.
Sorry. Big hit on the bottom there of Trailblazer, just getting flicked up. Oh, and the one direction it can't move is when it's face down on the flamethrowers, and somehow the hammer saw of Butterknife has got it there. Very quick, very efficient win there for Butterknife. There's nothing else to say there, very quick and efficient. Next up we have Trailblazer versus Bloodstar. Trailblazer wins this in with a good shot. They've just got to hope that Butterknife beats
3,
Nightterror in the next fight.
Go.
And Mad might have a robot into the round of 16, which will be a lot of fun. But first I've got to get through Bloodstar. Bloodstar kind of trying to get a position, but big push there by Trailblazer. Trailblazer's not giving an inch at the moment, trying to burn the undersides of Bloodstar. Pinning it against the wall and just burning it still. It's very good at just these big pushes across the arena, trying to possibly get that weapon to catch on a wall and throw itself out of the arena. And again, but not quite. Bloodstar looks like it's a boxer just hanging onto the side of the arena, like a boxer hanging onto the ropes. Another big push. Bloodstar almost out of the arena again, being pinned and burnt again. Oh, and it's just hit the wall and thrown itself out. It's a win for Trailblazer. Trailblazer goes through. Very unlucky for Aiden there. Next up we have Nightterror and Butterknife. This decides who goes through. Nightterror wins this, and we're going to have to have another fight between Nightterror and Trailblazer. If Butterknife wins this, it's Butterknife and Trailblazer going through. Another big hit throwing the Nightterror around. It seems like the hammer saw is half working like a hammer saw and half working like a front hinge flipper. It's done a lot of flipping as Butterknife, which is interesting. Almost thrown itself out the arena there. I think something just burnt out in Nightterror. Might have been a drive. Nightterror is barely moving. That hammer saw's gonna come in on the vulnerable backside. There goes an entire panel. Now it's even more vulnerable. That's where all the electronics are. But is it needed? I don't think it is. I think Nightterror is out. And it is. Nightterror is out. Butterknife goes through. That means we have Butterknife and Trailblazer advancing. Now, the next episode will be the beginning of the finals brackets shown here. We have Death of a Spatula versus Trailblazer, Inside Job versus Wasted, Fernando versus Pika Destroy, Zistrung versus Kaboomerang, The Cat versus Sad Fox, Butterknife Earthquake, Double or Nothing Impact, and Gamine Visions. See you then.